Welcome to the Mischief. I'm Vallen, and this is Kingdoms and Castles. It's a wonderful kingdoms and castles builder, I guess. Well, you build a kingdom. It comes under siege at times, has its difficulties, and it's pretty good. We're gonna go with Summern, which is relatively easy, but still quite a challenge in itself. And we're going to name this place not Polyton. That sounds terrible. We're just going to simply call this one Mischief. And we are going to go with the D20 die because, well, I do play D&D and that just seems thematically accurate. So first, I'm going to pause it. We have an unpopulated area. We need to find a place to create our kingdom, which, you know, if I zoom all the way out, you can see the map is somewhat randomly generated. Actually, this is relatively square. Most of the time it's just some strange landmass, but this is pretty good. There's an inland lake. I like this. And the dark green areas that you'll notice here, like this here, are fertile, very fertile land. You've got your light green, which is fertile, and then you've got your barren land. You can't really put crops and such on barren land, but they're good for, you know, just putting buildings and other stuff. We don't really care about this stuff here, the gray unusable stone. We want the light gray stuff, the stuff that you can quarry, as well as access to trees. And, well, let's see if I can find some on here. Aha! There's a bit. We're going to want some of this, not the barren land. Go away. We want the iron. So those are some of the resources we're going to want, is going to be access to fertile land, iron, and stone. Specifically wood and stone to start with, iron later on. This looks like a really rich area over here. As far as planting, wow, look at all this fertile land. This is just begging to be mined out. And then there's this iron here. We could have a residential district and then going into like a farming area over on this side. We're going to be very open to attack though, because there are invaders. Things like attacking Vikings as well as a potential flying visitor. They can be a bit scary, but you know what? Let's set up here. So to start off with, we're going to have to build our own castle here, and we can rotate this so that it's, you know, much more applicable to whatever side we want it to face. I don't really know which way we're going to have it. You know what? Let's have it face kind of out into the ocean. I don't want it to be too far away, but I don't want to use up too much of that fertile land because you never know when we might need it. Let's put it here because a bunch of the roads around it are probably going to be rather useful. So we're going to start there. Then we do have a little bit of resources down here. We've got some wood, got some stone. This is our food, money, and so on. We really don't have any people here, so we're going to need some roads, some hovels, things of that nature just to get people going. And because you can't really build things without roads somewhat near most of the items. And we're not really too worried about this right now. Stone and probably the wood is what we're going to be going for most here. So let's just do a bunch of these. And I don't want to go too far. Let's build at some housing. We're going to want to let's zoom in a bit so we can actually see. You can see the different way that it's going to face. And we'll put this facing this way. And then we'll have another one. Do I have enough for another one? No, I don't. We're just going to hit that, and I'm going to speed along things because at the beginning it's a little bit slow. Later on it can get really, really fast. So there we go. People are asking for housing already, and this is where our announcers, or our announcers come in. You can click on each one, your agriculture guy. Good day, sire. We'll need farms first to feed our workers. This is true. Very true. Food is a really, really big thing to take care of. Good day, sire. Let's begin growing our kingdom with some roads, then houses. And then, of course, our military officer. Good day, sire. Which we really don't have any military needs right now because people want food and housing. So we've got the housing going up. In fact, hopefully it's very quickly we can do that. And we're going to need to tell them to start harvesting some resources. So let's go with the stuff that's closest to the roads and have them just start chopping this stuff down because that's going to be our basic starter stuff. We also want them to chop this stuff because I'm going to be having a quarry forming off of this area here, which is a little bit further away, but that's all right. I figure we can have an industrial district as well as a farming district and then a residential district, and they'll kind of be a little bit farther away from each other, but that's all right. So to start with, we've got our population of 5. people, which is actually, we only have 5 beds, so we're not going to actually grow at this point. So while they're doing that, once we get a little bit of wood, there we go. And I want to make sure that this house is in the right spot. There we go. And the reason I'm kind of making like a residential and a farming and an industrial district is because usually you'll have different, things here like a church or a library or a hospital or a tavern, and they will cover and affect a specific area. You can see it's already starting to get into winter. Good thing we've got a little bit of food at least, which they're using a tiny bit of food stores into the castle itself. But we are going to need to build a granary and some food stores. So let's get that going straight away. I'm seeing some pretty good stuff here. I paused it briefly. I don't want this to go too bad, but I really, really see some good stuff over here. And I'm thinking it's best if we can get a really good core start on some of this. So that's too far away from roads. That's going to cause a problem. But we do need some food coming in. So, you know what we could do in the meantime? Instead, with the food, we could do an orchard, which is pretty good. It's not fertile enough here, if you notice, because there's 1 square of barren. But if I go over something like this, then it's pretty good. It's like, hey, you know what? You could do this here. This is good. So I figure, oh wait, too far away from the road. Of course it is. I need to build another road. Good thing is, once you place a road, it instantly is considered, something that is usable, even though it's not completed yet. So I could build this here along the path, and then we could unpause and have things going. But I do really want to have a good farming area out here. Perhaps we can have like a nice road going along this area. Oh, that's actually not a bad idea. Let's build a little bit of roads going along here. I think I can get a little bit more, maybe, because I want to come along here. And I'm going to want to chop this down, as well as some more of these trees here. This one here, and this is all going to be very beneficial in the future, but for the moment, it's just going to kind of be okay. You'll see what I'm talking about here. Let's chop this down too. Heck, I might as well just... we're going to need a way of actually producing wood overall, because you see that these resources of the wood goes quickly. While they're chopping, let's see what our agriculture person says. Our food stores are running low. Look at that. Yeah, surprise. Well, we've at least got the orchard up and running. So let's get some farms going now that we've actually got this close enough. And there's a certain layout that I'm going for, and I'll show you why once we get these roads a little bit closer. But for now, let's just keep these going in line like this. I'm going to have one here. And that's a good start, I think. I know that seems a bit weird. But the idea is, actually, can I get more hovel? Yes, I can get another hovel. I would like to keep it somewhat nicer. Do we have the ability to actually build something nicer? No, we don't. We right now just have some food and a couple of houses. We've got 10 out of 10 beds being used. So they're going to tell me I need to build. We're unable to improve conditions. No one will want to live in our kingdom. Make some more stuff. Oops, and I just... missed on that one. Sorry, our food stores are running low. Yes, I know. And sometimes they'll tell you things that are very, very repetitive, but not to worry. That stuff can be remedied in the future. Now, there is something else that you're going to need to worry about in the future. Probably not straight away, and that's going to be water supplies. And that's not necessarily for the people to drink. It's more along the lines of to help put fires out. Are they just telling me to... They're worried about the food? Yeah, well, we've got more foods growing. And that's the thing. You don't want to expand your town too big or faster than your food production going on. Yeah, now he's telling me that they're starving. Even though the food's coming in, there it goes, 13, 16. See, we've got more, and you can hover, click on here, and it says we've got a net gain of food at the moment, which is good, but not very much. And yeah, he's just going to keep yelling at me for this. So I'm not going to listen to his trumpeting anymore, at least not for a bit. So let's go into the food supplies. Now, we're going to need a place better than this to store our stuff, which is going to be here, but we need to get to some stone. So the first thing I think is going to be we need to build more roads to this quarry, which is going to use up most of our ability, most of our wood stores to do so, but that's all right. It's a necessary evil. Then we get into the industry, and we're going to need 15 more wood. So eventually we're going to need to cut this stuff down. Might as well chop the stuff that's closest. Chop these, chop this. We just chop everything. There, chop this. That should do. And like I said, we're kind of decimating the forest, but we can regrow those once we've got ourselves a forester set up, which is going to be this here. That's probably going to be our next step, but we need some stone before we can do that. So stone is going to actually be the next step. I lied. Stone is actually the next one. There we go. We now we can put 2 quarries on one of these little stone bits. For now, 1 is going to be more than enough. Let's see what they're saying now. New construction, but no one available to build it. Perhaps we should temporarily close other buildings and new homes. Build more homes. See, he wants me to get more houses, which makes sense because we're getting a lot more food now and we're able to store more. So we should actually expand. So let's see if we can do... Can't do a cottage yet because we need stones for that. So let's do a little bit more of these hovels. They're not exactly that impressive, but there's something in the meantime, I guess. So let's do 1 more to start. I don't want to go too nuts with the population boom. You can see already in the top here, we're on year 7. It's been 7 years just building this castle, a couple of hovels, an orchard, a quarry, a couple of farms, building our 3rd house. You know, it's nothing really much going on, but hopefully we'll be able to get enough people and supplies in here that we can actually move forward at a little bit faster rate. All right, and there we've got more food than we can actually store. So we need to actually build, hey, what good timing, a small granary. But we also are going to need supplies for the wood in the future. So I'm kind of tempted at this point to go with a forester first and a granary second. Now, a forester in this area, he's going to harvest and regrow trees, which is going to be a little bit annoying at the beginning. But in the end, it's going to be beneficial. So I'm going to place him right here. And I'm only going to leave these 3 squares available in the end for him to harvest trees on. And we'll probably decimate everything else out with forests and other goodies. But that should be a good start to that. Once he's back up and running, it'll automatically start harvesting wood for us instead of us having to constantly click on trees. Like this, and this, and this, and this. Let's see what they've got to say at this point. Probably more food problems. Oh, actually, he says, it took too long to store our harvest. Some of it was ruined by the winter. Improving paths to a granary would help. Well, he says this quite often because we don't actually have a granary at this point. And what did this guy have to say? New construction, but no one available to build it. Yes, because we currently are trying to build a house, but we don't have enough people to do that because we're also building this. This one here, oh, that one has no idle workers. No idle workers. So we need to tell somebody to actually stop doing stuff. We've got plenty of this. So let's close our quarry temporarily, and we'll have them start helping out with building some of these buildings. Which one of these? He just finished that, so now I like the knocking noise and the building noise. Oh, it looks like we have actually more people harvesting on the wood. Whoopsie. Well, we're going to need that wood anyway, so let's look into that. We're going to need a well, but I'm hesitant to actually use that at the moment. I also need more people, which I should have. Yeah, I've got 15 beds now. If you look over here, it now says 15 beds, 10 people, and as time progresses, people will most likely move in. But we also need a place to store our food, and this is really, really important. So I'm kind of thinking I'm going to put the granary here. That's kind of a weird spot, but I'm also thinking of like filling more farms around this area, but I don't know. It's very iffy. So I'm trying to make space or make use of the barren space, but I think instead I'm just going to have a granary here so that it is, well, easy access for now. There we go. And that should expand our food storage. Right now we're maxed out with the amount of food that we can store. So we need to be able to do so, because this will only store 50 in itself. So what do they have to say now? Our kingdom is happy and content. Perhaps we should raise taxes at a treasure room, which we don't have. We don't have a treasure room right now. That's a ways off. This guy here, we're losing excess food, but I see a new granary under construction. A wise choice. So for once, he recognized that I actually was taking measures to fix that. And you notice that this tree here had a little axe above it, and we gained wood already. So this forester is already replanting and automatically harvesting wood for us, which is excellent. So I think we can actually reopen the quarry at this point. Might even shut down this, but at this moment, I'm thinking we need to get more roads going so that we can expand my future plan. Oh, this forester. Okay, you need to stop, because right now he's growing trees where I just chopped trees down, and I want to put farms. So let's get some farms in here, and we shall put them all through here. I'm going to put one here as well, but I need to have at least one more piece of road coming in. Actually, I don't think I do. I might be able to put another... Yeah, I think I can get away with this. Let's put one here, and we'll put another road there. So that should actually reach the 2 squares back. And I think I can put another farm. Yes, I can. Excellent. Now you notice that I left this center spot blank. I didn't actually put anything there. Reason is I'm saving up for a windmill, which is going to be a lot of stone and a lot of wood, which shouldn't be too far off. But there we go. I can open this back up. And we're going to need to start building new housing at this point, because we've got more food coming in. If you look here, we're getting a big bonus of plus 30, so we should be storing more than we need. But we are going to need... Ooh, okay. Rain is good and bad. And you'll see the bad here. This is flooded due to heavy rains, so the harvest gets lost on that. But bonus is that orchards will not be affected by that. So they're kind of just a constant ongoing food source, which is always good. They just don't produce as much. This one here, not Gary Sparks. Hi, Gary. This one here will produce 6, but it's got a high soil fertility plus 4 and a master workers plus 2. This one here produces 24 on 4 squares, plus 4 for the fertility bonus and plus 3 for the master workers. So it's kind of hit and miss for these. You can get some decent bonuses. You can get a lot more of a bonus out of these than you can out of this, because this is like a fertility bonus of plus 4. These are plus 4 per plot. And then you can add in things on top of that to stack and get even more information. What do you got to say? We have new construction, but no one available to build it. What new construction is it? Oh, he's talking about the farms and the roads. Well, that's all right. We've got how many beds? Oh, the beds are all full. Time to expand our cottages. Let's get a new cottage. And here's something that's a problem, is that this guy here has no coal. Too far away or none available. Well, actually, apparently he has a neighbor now, so he's happy. Actually, I didn't realize you could open up the granary and see inside of it. That's awesome. Okay, but the people here, they're saying that they want coal, which is great. That's going to increase their happiness. They want access to a well and coal. Oh, that's right. That's very important. I do need to get a well up and about straight away. So let's figure out how we're going to do this. I want it actually really close to the food stores at this point. I realize that doesn't really make much sense. But it's because the food stores need to be put out if they catch on fire quickly, because food stores are very important in this game. They will run out faster than just about anything. And then I could also put one over here so that it covers the rest of the town. But I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to expand more over here before I do that. So let's get a bit more of a road. And yes, you can build things like bridges, piers, town squares, hospitals, and so on. So I'm going to kind of expand a little bit with more of the mundane stuff, and I'll probably come back to this again shortly so you guys can see some of the progress. All right, as you can see, time has passed. Things have gone on. It's year 40 now. I currently have some charcoal being made here by Melissa Bradley and others. I have a small stockpile so that we can store all sorts of goods, and you can actually tell it exactly what you want it to store if you want specific things. I moved my quarry off to the side so I could have a road go through there and have a quarry on the opposite side instead of having it blocked. And I've actually had to shut off one of the 2 foresters that I had made because they were actually producing wood way too quickly. But I did make a second granary and expanded with a few of some cottages here with a little well in the middle just so that it can help put some of the fires out. But also to increase happiness. That is important to keep your people staying in your town. I added in a little tavern here, which helps, increase your base happiness, and some master brewers in there, but they also consume a little bit more food with it. Now, there has been rumors of Viking ships in the area, but I haven't come across any yet. And I did also move this iron mine off to the side here. I'm not trying to click on the guys. There we go. I'm trying to click on the iron mine. I did move it from this square over to the other so I could have an easier way to get around. And most importantly, I added a treasury so I can increase the tax rate and make some money. Money is important because you need money in order to actually pay the people. Funny enough, you take money from the people to pay back to the people so that you can employ defense, like archers or even some buildings or structures. Uh-oh. Alright, so I've been building a little bit. We've got a new manor and a marketplace, which actually helps the workers so that they don't have to travel a very far distance to provide food for their people. So you just put this in the marketplace and it will help distribute that. But there is a little problem. We've got Viking ship on the horizon, and we have no defenses, which means that we're in trouble. So I don't know if we can't exactly put an archer tower on top of anything. We need to actually have a tower to do that. So I'm not exactly sure where they're going to be coming in. It looks like are they coming in over here? They're landing, and they're pulling in all the way down there. So they're going to be coming in on this far side over where our food stores are, which is fantastic. That's where they're always going to be for some reason. I don't know why. But we're going to try putting some tower here. It's not going to be built fast enough. We can try, but on top of the tower then we would put an archer tower, which would help attack these enemies. But they are moving quickly, as you can see, and we can't build that fast enough. We can try, but I don't think that's going to happen. In the meantime, we're going to burn. So let's check out our water. If we have insufficient resources, we don't have any quarries going because I shut them off. Let's open the quarry back up. Hopefully my water coverage is good. I know that I've got a well here, which covers a decent amount. That one covers most of the food stores. I think we'll be all right for the most part. But yeah, look at this. They're coming right in on the crops. And they're stealing people. They've got people on their shoulders. They're taking slaves and stuff. Oh, it's terrible that we don't have any defenses in place yet. And we're losing our food stores. We're going to take a hit on our food stores here. Don't take any buildings out. Leave that storage alone. That storage has a ton of stuff. I don't know where else they're going here. They seem determined to go down the path. Don't set any more fires. Go away. Go away. He's got a big axe. They all have axes. Look at that. Whoa, I just zoomed in a little too far there. Look at these guys. They're ridiculous. They're actually so darn cute. I mean, I love the blocky nature of this. The music's pretty nice, too. But, yeah, I don't know. It looks like they might be on their way out. So they stole some of our people. We now have 48 out of 69 beds available. But I did build this manor house. So I think I only lost, like, a few people. Not as many as what it sounds like. And they're on their way back. Oh, you little jerks. Now, if you kill these guys, that was me pausing it, sorry, then their ship will sink. But you'd have to have an archer tower to do that, or some kind of military force, which we don't have yet. I was too preoccupied with just trying to get everything going here. And you can see we've actually got a little town hall, which is great. We can spend some of our tax money to have a festival with our D20. That flag looks a little backwards. Well, that's kind of sad. That it inverted the flag on there, but you get the idea. Now, our happiness is 69 right now. We could spend some of that money on the festival. Let's do that. Yes, hold festivals to increase your happiness. It makes people very happy and more likely to come into your town, hopefully. So I'm going to continue building a little bit more and see if I can get a little bit more for you guys to see before... Uh-oh. Fire. They're putting it out. There's only one person. There's multiple people. Okay, they're all moving in to put the fire out at the charcoal plant. That's not good. I don't want this place to be known as Silent Hill. Anyway, I'm going to continue progressing so I can show you guys a little bit more what's going on in this game, and then we'll probably call it quits after that. Okay, looks like we have some more visitors coming in. In the meantime, while they're landing, I should say that, well, we expanded a little bit more with our population. I've started adding in some towers. Regrettably, this one is not quite done yet. Hopefully... Oh, it's waiting on wood and stone, so that's actually not going to be made. And unless it comes from the stores, it might still make it. But I've got this one manned here, so we at least have one archer tower, though we do have 2 ships coming in this time instead of 1. Apparently they found it very beneficial to come and raid us. I did increase our food stores because we were actually running low, though we do have a lot going on now. Though I have a feeling we're going to lose a lot of it in this raid. So... yeah, that's the thing. I was trying to save up to get myself a church out here. We did get a library, which increases the happiness. Oh, and you can see that the archers are actually taking shots at the Vikings right now, and they're doing a little bit of damage. I don't know that is this no one manning the tower? Why not? Oh no, because they're all under attack. So there's no one manning that tower, though we did get it built in time. It just didn't have enough time to actually get people trained up for it, which is pretty sad. But yeah, that's all right. There's going to be some free jobs coming in here when the fires go out. Where are these guys going? Looks like most of that group got taken out. No, we barely hit any of that group. This group, on the other hand, has been brought down. We might be able to take out this group on the way out, maybe? I don't know. It's pretty close. But these guys are just running around town causing havoc. They haven't taken anybody yet. I don't know what this guy's doing with running around with his flag. He hasn't taken anybody yet either. So far they just set fire to some farms. And that seems to be about it. There are dragons in this game as well. Hopefully, I was hoping that we would see some before I finished this episode off. But I think perhaps... I'll just play a little bit more, and we'll have that running through the credits here. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video on Kingdoms and Castles. It's a wonderful little, like, kingdom builder type game. Oh, looks like those guys escaped. Oh, we got one of them! We got one of them! Alright, and we're shooting at the other tower, because the other tower got manned just in time. But I think that was probably the best outcome we could have had in that situation, though our fields are on fire. Which isn't good. But I'm really liking this. It's really pretty. It sounds nice. It plays well. It's easy to move around and understand most of the mechanics. I mean, in this case, you put down a windmill and it helps boost production of everything around it, for example. It's very simple and straightforward, though it does have some complex strategies to it. Especially when you get into the wall building. Right now I'm just building posts, and this is just early game stuff. It gets really much more in depth. So I do recommend giving this out a try. I mean, you've got your hospitals, your taverns, your piers, which allow you, and they're not like P-E-E-R, but pier, which allows you to build out on the water and start building structures out there if you so desire. Like walls, for instance. In this case, I didn't really do too much. I just did kind of like these little towers for the archers to reside in, but yeah. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Feel free to comment and subscribe, and if you think others would enjoy this content as well, don't be afraid to, let them know about it too. And until next time, folks, I'll see ya.